Hello, everybody. What's up? We're back. I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. What's up? Come on in, guys. Hit that like button. Trigger warning as usual. All right. Happy Friday. Glad we made it. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Get a membership if you can. Guys, yesterday, that was awesome. I'm so glad that we stand with Lauren over here. My goodness, what a turnout. We hit 5.5 million views on Guilty of Crime and 29,000 subscribers. So, congratulations to us. That just means that we're going to have a bigger reach, more access to more cases, hopefully a lot more coming in where we have contact with families, we can help them, bigger outreach. So the more people that see us, the more people that will want to come on and talk to us, and just it's just a big outreach. So thank you to everyone that showed up yesterday. Thank you to the people that are going to come in a bit. Just thank you guys. This is awesome. Shout out to all of you. Shay, what's up? Welcome, Shay. Fairly new, but love your honesty, Jay. Thank you. Appreciate you and everybody else that's supporting the channel. Dahlia, thank you so much for the 249 super sticker to go towards our goal. And Indy upgraded her membership to the Secret Crime Crew Live. So thank you for that, Indy Isham. Good to see everybody. What's up? Come on in. Now, I got to thank the mods, especially Tiff, that helps me every day with the research. Now, listen, we literally do a case a day, but that case a day doesn't always make it to you guys. So I assure you, we had 5 different cases this week that we had ready to go. And I'm talking about, when I say ready to go, I mean that ready to go. Collages, research, loaded, locked and loaded, ready to go. But I had to cover the cases that needed a recover, that needed an update, like Justice for Emmanuel Haro, where Jake pled guilty without a deal. I want you to know that there was no deal in this case. So we have 5 freaking cases this week, and we didn't get to present them all. So thank you, Tiff, for helping me. I just want you to know that we do have them ready. We do the research, we do everything. And then when it's time, 4 o'clock comes along, sometimes we don't get to do that case. So thank you. Just thank you to everyone that helps me. Shy Turtle says, I hate that they give plea deals such to shitty parents, but there's no deal in this case. I got to tell you that. And Bree, how do you upgrade your membership? You just go to the go to my it's not memberships anymore. It's my commute. Wait, what is it? I don't even know. I don't have the link here, but the link is the same as a membership. You can upgrade it. So you go to, it's actually the membership page. And if you're a member, it will actually give you the option to upgrade. So there you go. Take a look at that. It's the same link as you would go to my memberships, and it just says upgrade. So go check that out, guys. Also, go check out our Ghost guiltyofcrimeghost.org page. That is equivalent to Patreon, but we have a lot of things on the Patreon or on Ghost that Patreon doesn't allow, like autopsy photos, pictures of people, videos, real graphic videos that Patreon doesn't allow and Ghost does. So we're not the fish tank, we're the piranha tank over there. It's like piranhas over there. You might not like it, but you don't have to see it if you don't upgrade. So you can sign up for ghost.org guilty of crime for free, and you'll get all the up-to-date information, like the Emmanuel Haro case. Jake pled guilty. We told you about that yesterday. We tell you all the updates in the cases over there for free. And if you want to upgrade, you can do so. And if you upgrade, then you get access to the stuff that you want to see if you want to see it. So thank you guys for being here. What's up, Emily? Good to see you, fam. Barbie G, Michelle Allender, Abby Poodle. I hope you're feeling okay today. Sadie's mama, prayers for you as usual. All the mods, thank you for being here. All right, guys, let's get into this. Why did Jake Why did Jake Haro plead guilty to what happened to missing baby Emmanuel? And how is that going to change? How is that going to change what Rebecca continues to say? All right. So that's what we're going to talk about. I have I think, a pretty awesome show lined up for you today. All right. M. Kaiser says she should change her plea, but I don't think she will plea. Okay. Rose, good evening. Heather, who thinks Rebecca will change her plea? You guys, if you guys think she'll change her plea, you can go vote over there when you come in, or just write it in chat. All right. So that's how that goes. If you guys have something to say, QQQ, I'll try to get to your questions, or you could do a super chat, super sticker to support the channel, or just talk amongst yourselves. All right. Whatever you want to do, that's what we do. If Jake pled guilty, then Mama is lying. I hope she gets charged too. Well, she's already charged, Amy. So I'm glad you're here today. Come in, sit down, buckle up, because we have a show for you today. All right. So let's just pop this up and bring this down, and let's talk about this first. And then we're going to get into discussions about what's happening in the case, why this fool wants to cry now, and why he pled freaking guilty without having a plea deal. What does that mean? What does that mean for his sentencing? What does it mean that they haven't found Emmanuel Haro's case yet? All right. Good to see you, Sheila. Was wondering about the case. Now I hear the news today. Come on in. It would be nice if you would be in green. So maybe you'll get a membership, or maybe you'll get a membership gifted. You opt in for that. Foxy is going to gift a membership in about 12 minutes. So you don't want to miss that. All right. Let's get into this. I'm going to read a little bit for you. Story time with Jay from Guilty of Crime. And then we'll get into the episode, and maybe we'll have a quiz at the end of the show. So make sure that you stay here. I hope he tells where. That's what we're going to talk about today too, Voices Carry. We're going to talk about if he's going to tell where the baby is and what's happening with Rebecca, etc. If Mama Pearl's in the house, hello, Mom, love you. Here's a good update for you guys today. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get right down to business. The Press Enterprise. It's worth the subscribing to. I paid about, I think, maybe $6 for the year or something like that. Well worth it. Lots of cases in the area of where the Press Enterprise is. All right. So go check that out. That's nothing I promote. It's their thing. So okay, Jake Haro pleads guilty in a Riverside court to murder of his baby son, Emmanuel. And there he is talking to his attorneys. All right. Let's get into this. Jake Haro, who along with his wife was in the national spotlight after 7-month-old baby child went missing during the summer, unexpectedly pleaded guilty on Thursday, October 16th, which was yesterday. And we told you about that court date on our last episode. But he was not expected to plead. He was not. He actually changed his plea because it was originally not guilty. They did not give him a deal, but he is charged with second degree M, the big M, second degree. Now, Haro's voice, and we're going to watch this in a little bit, very different views of it. Haro's voice increasingly broke with each response as he said, "Yes, Your Honor," to Superior Court Judge Gary Polk's questions. Asked whether he was admitting to the capital M charge, and Haro responded, "I'm guilty." Now, again, this was not expected, all right? He was supposed to have a hearing yesterday, and Rebecca was supposed to come back on the 28th, but they were both there, all right? As Jake Haro said, "I'm guilty," Rebecca was over there in the corner crying and saying, "My baby," even though she's the one that said, "Hola," and then she was knocked out, doesn't remember anything. So how could that happen to her if Jake was over there taking the M charge and hiding the baby? I don't know, Rita, but we'll talk about why, what, and all the different charges. All right, so listen, besides the second degree M, Haro, 32, pled guilty to assault on a child under 8 years old that resulted in death, paralysis, or comatose state, and a misdemeanor count of filing a false report. As you guys will see, if you haven't seen that, you know what I'm talking about. That false report was, "My baby was kidnapped. Oh no, please help us." Let's get into the spotlight news. All right, let's get into the spotlight and bring the news and waste a bunch of resources. All right, now I have speculations on why he decided to plead guilty. All right, and we're going to also talk about that. All right, why I think he decided to plead guilty to this. All right. As of today, the baby's remains have not been recovered. Amy McKenzie, a spokeswoman from Riverside County District, said Thursday. Let's look at some of these pictures from court. We got this guy shedding a tear behind those evil eyes there, and some people outside of court wanting justice. Some of the family members with the Emmanuel Haro shirt on. Jake in there pretending to be sad by his attorneys, and family members here. Jamit, Carla, right, embraces Ashley, family members who've all been closely following the case. Embrace outside of the Hall of Justice in downtown Riverside. That was yesterday. All right. So there's Rebecca trying to hide her face. The good old hair flip. You do that in court. Look at Corey Richens. Corey Richens does that too. She flips her hair over her face. How about Lori Vallow? Lori Vallow liked to put those curls in front of her face and hide from the camera. And that's what Rebecca was doing in court. Yeah, Jake is a joke and he has fake tears. I agree. And this woman as well. She's just as bad, if not worse. She gave birth to Emmanuel. So she's over there hiding. All right. Rebecca Haro Jake pled guilty to all charges, including second degree. The Haros were in the national spotlight when Emmanuel went missing. Then we got him with his fake tears again, and we've got people outside of the courthouse that have been following the case. All right, him again crying, and last one, him talking to his attorneys about what he did, because in fact, that was unexpected. No deal was given. All right, now what changed Haro's mind? A clue to the answer emerged late Thursday afternoon yesterday. A new court record shows that Rebecca Haro's attorney, Jeff Moore, objected to a non-disclosure order regarding the Perkins operation. Do you remember what the Perkins operation was? Now, listen, the Perkins operation was somebody inside the jailhouse, an informant in the jailhouse talking to Jake and getting him to talk about where baby Emmanuel was, which led to them going outside to find the body. And Jake is the one that led them. So in that process of the informant, I think that he leaked it all out when he was out there talking to law enforcement. He told them that he did it, and he told them that he knew where the body was, and that's how he got out there to do the search on the outside. Had he not said that, there would have been zero searches, and he wouldn't have been out there with him. What's up, Selena? How you doing? And Velvet Unicorn. Krista, good to see you. Where's the baby? All right, so now we talked about the Perkins operation, which placed a defendant in the jail cell with an informant being paid by law enforcement to elicit a recorded confession. Now, there were rumors of Jake Haro being in such an operation leading up to yesterday, but the order was sealed from you guys and me. They sealed that from the public. All right. It's the first possible confirmation. The brief mention in court records does not say which defendant was placed with an informant or what was said. And I can understand why they would do that, guys, because they don't want you to know. They don't want me to know. They don't want us to know about these Perkins operations. If they tell us, then we would know who it was. So if that thing gets unsealed, then we're going to know who the informant was. We're going to know what their process was. And they don't want us to know about the Perkins operation, because that could happen to any one of you that commit a crime. All right. So the Perkins is a big deal. They denied it from the beginning. We talked about it when we saw Jake Haro leading investigators to the body that they didn't find. And they denied that a Perkins operation even happened, which is kind of scary because it's weird. What goes on behind the scenes that we don't know? Kalisa, yes, we want to know where the baby is. I hope they will tell. All right. So listen, Moore declined to comment on that Perkins operation yesterday, citing the confidentiality of the document. The DA's office declined comment, and that's what they've done the whole time. Now, listen, second degree murder differs from first degree in that it's the killing of a person without premeditation. Okay, guys, so people are in chat being upset. People are saying, why in the hell is he getting second degree? Why are they giving this monster second degree when he already beat the heck out of his 10-week-old kid prior, did no time, and left that child without without most of brain function, without being able to eat, without being able to walk? He beat his child almost to death and got almost no time. All right. So why are they giving him second degree? Well, that's because whatever's being told is that it wasn't premeditated. So listen, it carries a lighter sentence for second degree, which is 15 years to life. And I'll even throw in with the possibility of parole. Haro also could get 25 years to life for the assault conviction. But Mackenzie said Haro's maximum prison term when he is sentenced will likely be 25 to life, guys. Now, there's a difference between 25 to life with parole and without parole, which, he's probably going to get it with. What that would mean that the sentences would be served at the same time, which is consecutive, guys, not concurrent to each other at the same time rather than 15 years here, 10 years here. It's just all at one time. Now, Haro on Thursday pled guilty to an unrelated charge that had been filed in Banning in 2024, being a felon or addict in possession of a firearm. He also acknowledged violating probation. He has a previous conviction for child cruelty, which we just talked about, and received a sentence that the DA, Mike Hestron, said was too lenient. And it is, because had he been serving his time, he wouldn't even be out on the streets. And, well, Emmanuel wouldn't have been born. And he contributed to Emmanuel's death because he wasn't locked up. All right. A group that advocates for judges countered that it was improper. The assault charge was added on Thursday. Mackenzie said Haro learned of new allegation on Thursday and added that it was an unrelated to the plea. All right. Let's keep going. Let's check in with you guys, see what you have to say. Kathy says, hola, Jake and Rebecca. Judgment Day is coming. Now do the right thing. Where is baby Emmanuel? All right. I agree. And let me make sure I don't miss anybody. First of all, let me thank Indy again, and then Bree for becoming a member. If you upgraded, thank you. Indy Isham, thanks, Jay, and Greatest Mods. I'll leave that up there for a little bit to let everybody know that I'm saying thank you for contributing towards our goal. All right, so listen, guys. Haro made the plea to the court instead of consultation with the DA. The DA's office didn't object to the plea, but they also did not, and I repeat, they didn't give him a deal. Now, listen, mark your calendars. November 3rd is when sentencing is coming, and it could be postponed if the probation department pre-sentencing report is not done. Assistant Deputy Attorney Brandon Smith declined afterward to say how Emmanuel was killed because Rebecca's case is still ongoing. So the DA now knows how baby Emmanuel's life was taken based on what Jake said, but they're not going to tell us because Rebecca's case is still ongoing, and she has pled not guilty on Thursday, which was yesterday, and she has the same charges filed in Emmanuel's disappearance. Now, public defender Steve Harmon declined to comment on Thursday, citing the cases are ongoing. Now, let's talk a little bit about Rebecca, and then I'm going to show you everything that we're talking about. Okay, so thank you guys for being here. Thank you to the new people. Thank you to the loyal people that have been here since day one. I appreciate all of you. All right. Were they in the same? Yes, they were in the same courtroom, and we're going to watch all that. Krista says, thank you so much for gifting memberships, Foxy Amazon. They're in vain, not much appreciated. They are appreciated. Thank you. Yes, they are in the same courtroom. Eileen, my friend, good to see you. How you doing? Big hugs to everybody. We made it to Friday. Oh, I love you guys. I love my crime crew. All right, now listen, let's talk about Rebecca for a second. Rebecca Haro, 41, had claimed that Emmanuel was kidnapped by a man who she said knocked her unconscious in a parking lot at the Big Five in Yucaipa on August 14th. As you know, it kicked off an investigation that drew our attention, national attention, and even Dolly went down there. Dolly Vision. She appeared to cry during the interviews to the media, but actual tears were scarce. We know that now. Now, August 17th, San Bernardino sheriff investigators searched the couple's Cabazon home, signaling their suspicions. The Haros were arrested only 5 days later on August 22nd. And 4 days later, August 26th, the husband and wife were charged with the big M and filing a false police report. Now, Rebecca has stuck to her story in a jailhouse interview and yesterday in court, saying, my baby, even though she knew what happened to her baby. She's a big fat liar, in my opinion. All right, let's keep going. That story couldn't have happened if Jake already did what he did to baby Emmanuel. All right. And now, let's see. After her claim that she had too many inconsistencies to be believed, on August 24th, Jake Haro, wearing his red jumpsuit, was spotted on a hillside in Moreno Valley Badlands as authorities searched for baby Emmanuel. All right. In a subsequent jailhouse interview, he would not say what led him and law enforcement to search that particular area. Now, this is what I'm telling you guys. All right. Yeah, Rita, she should have protected her baby. Right. That's what she should have done. She should have protected that little angel right there instead of abusing him all the way up until his death. I'm so mad about these people wasting resources and taking the lives of babies. All right. Now, she's still claiming, my baby. Haro said also the wife was innocent, but he declined to say the same thing for himself. He did say, Emmanuel, I love you, buddy. All right. There's Emmanuel already looking abused by this point in that picture. Oh, there's a little memorial for him. That is when he looks so adorable and untouched and unharmed in this picture, in my opinion. He's beautiful, guys. So just I just got to stop for a second and just say a prayer for Emmanuel Haro that his remains are found and that he is laid to rest properly. All right. Much love to all you guys under the mystic moon. Thank you. Connie, I see you, my friend. Rita, Spectral Whispers, what's up? Do you all think Rebecca could be mentally impaired? Perhaps the head injury from abuse, or maybe just slow. It's hard to understand her thinking. I'll let you guys think about that in chat. All right. So, little baby boy, never forget Emmanuel. All right. Oh my God, look at that. That's killing me. That's beautiful, guys. That's beautiful. Right there. He's an angel, but his face is full. His eyes are straight. And those are the times in the picture they used where he was not abused in the way that we saw him towards the end. Damn, man. These people. And if you saw all this, you know where this house was. We'll look at it again in a bit. Beautiful angel, may he rest in peace. And right there, in my opinion, he looks like he's already been abused. Now, remember, the parents claimed that he was slow. And I think the only reason he was slow and his eyes went out is because they beat him, as well as he had a very flat head in the back. And you know what that is. That's when you leave your baby down too long in a car seat or on the bed. All right. What's up, Oh Biscuits? Hey, Crime Crew family. Clark. Yep, that was not a birth defect. I agree. He was so cute, guys. So cute. I can't even stand how cute he was. All right. So the hearing on Thursday was expected to be routine, which was yesterday. It was not. With the attorneys discussing a new date for the preliminary hearing, when a judge hears limited evidence, that was supposed to happen next. And it didn't because Jake pled guilty, again, without a deal. Now, again, indeed that happened with Rebecca's preliminary hearing being moved, like I told you, from October 28th now to November 3rd. So you can mark your calendar for that and hope that it still comes. Now, then came a stunning statement from Jake's defense team that was changing his plea from not guilty. Now, that is them in the courtroom. We'll see him in a little bit. I'll put it up there. We'll watch the videos. All right. So nobody expected that. The case continues to garner attention. As you see, several Facebook groups devoted to the case popped up where posters discussed the plight of the baby and offered their prayers. One commentator said that she was monitoring the case from Finland. And I can honestly say that we're monitoring the case from all over the world with you and the crime crew. All right. I see you guys from all over everywhere. Australia. I mean, I just looked at my statistics today and you guys are all over. So thank you. Thank you for watching from Finland, Australia, and everywhere else. All right. So listen, prompted posters speculate what the defendants did, sometimes in gruesome detail to the baby. TikTok posters offered version of events, sometimes without attributing their information to any source, which we do not do on this channel. We make sure we cite our sources, or we say we're speculating about something that doesn't have documentation. All right, so there's a couple pictures of these monsters, her black eyes going away a little bit, looking all abused, which I do think that she was abused, but it was her job as a mother to get out and take her little boy. All right, so there he is talking to his attorney in court. There he is when he's big belly being arrested. Remember, he's like a Mexican Ken doll, and he it's kind of close to you. He doesn't have anything in. Remember, there's no junk in his trunk. You remember we saw him with his little Ken doll shorts and flat in the front. He's like a Ken doll with no junk in his trunk, and that's how he's going to be treated in prison. We hope. All right, prison justice for this little Ken doll without any junk in the trunk. So. Okay, at memorials outside, searched on foot. Few of the people sat back in the courtroom on Thursday and wept when Jake Haro admitted to killing his baby. Outside the Riverside courtroom, they cried more and hugged, which we saw pictures of. So far, I feel justice is served, but we want to know where he is so we can give him a proper burial. This is just a spectator that's saying this, by the way. All right. And let's keep going. We're done with this one, and we're gonna get into the courts and seeing everything. So, what's up, everybody? Welcome in. Happy Friday. I'm feeling great today. I hope you guys are. All right, we got so many things to cover next week. Jiggy, we have a missing dentist here. If you'd like to send that to me, I would be happy to post it on my community page. You're right, Spectral. Let's get into that now. I hope you guys are feeling good today because I'm feeling fantastic. I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's Friday. I don't know if it's because I have no idea, but I'm just feeling good and I really hope you guys are. So do me a favor, hit that like button. There's 185 people here and I'm happy with that. All right. If I get more, cool. If not, then I can pay attention to Patricia Bryan. Thank you so much for the $1.99 towards our goal today. Thank you. Appreciate you. Mwah. Much love to you. It's Friday. You got that. All right. Let's start out with clip number 1. I have quite an episode for you today, so I do hope that you guys enjoy it while learning with Guilty of Crime.
There is a memorial for baby Emmanuel, and as you said it, today his father admitted to killing him. We spoke with a man who was inside the courtroom and witnessed the guilty plea.
I was shocked. Not only was Jake crying, Rebecca was crying, but as I looked around the courtroom, there was tears everywhere.
Riverside County resident Don Cato says it was a surprise to everyone in the courtroom when Jake Mitchell Haro suddenly pleaded guilty.
And don't worry, we got several clips with different angles of different things. So don't worry. I got you covered like I do every day. All right. Always got you guys covered. And I try my best to keep it that way. So love you guys. Patricia, much love. Jay, you always do an amazing job. Thank you. I try my best, guys. I'm still semi-new at this. So, hey.
to murdering his baby boy, Emmanuel.
As he was crying, he said, "I want to plead guilty." And I was sitting on the side behind Rebecca, and she was shocked as well. She's rocking back and forth, and she was like, "My baby, my baby."
People from all over Southern California came out to help search.
My baby. You should have thought about that when you did whatever you did with those power tools that you and Jakey were trying to buy. How about that? Man, these people are just pitiful, pitiful people. I don't know what's happening in this world. I really don't. And I don't think any of us really can comprehend the things that happen minute to minute. You know, this, it's not has to do with the case here. But right before I hopped on here, has anybody seen that show, the movie Strangers? Scary movie. Liv Tyler, originally in the movie. Liv Tyler, they go out in the boonies to go have a little vacation, and three strangers or multiple strangers come to the door and they knock. Scary people. This just happened to a couple yesterday. Three people knocked at the door with different Halloween masks, and they said, "If you don't let me in, I'm going to break in." It's very scary. I might show you a clip at the very end. Oh my God. Strangers came to life, guys. Lola, what's up? And I'm not scared. I would answer the door to those strangers and say, hello to my little friends, and pull out my AR and say, "How can I help you? Are you sure you want to come in? Come on in. Come on, let's go." But that didn't happen in that case. And the lady thought it was a joke. Oh, they weren't playing. So anyway, back to this case. Just, this world's scary, guys. It's scary. So hug your loved ones, hang out with them as often as you can, because you just don't know. All right, back to this case.
For the 7-month-old baby last August, after his parents went on the news pleading for his safe return.
And look at this. Now we could pick this apart to the fullest. I can look at her crying with that black eye that we knew was way too old to be the black eye, right? We can look at that now and say, there's no way. There's no possible way that that could have happened when Jake Haro told the district attorney and his lawyers what they did to baby Emmanuel. Now, when I say what they did, she had to have been involved. This is not another Jen Soto case where she didn't know. And thank you, Jinx. I appreciate you so much. All right. Madalena. Yeah, I do got to cover the Madalena Kojakari case too. I have that on the list, guys. I just can't get to anything because I'm doing these updates, but I got it. Stepfather exudes evil, mother's a victim. When I assure you, I have cases and cases to get to that are ready to go, but I'd have to stream like 10 times a week to get to them all.
I'm begging you, please. Bring my son back to me.
Haro entered the guilty plea on Thursday during a felony settlement conference at the Hall of Justice in Riverside. He admitted to murder, child endangerment, and filing a false police report.
It's highly unusual for a suspect in the murder case to plead guilty without testing the evidence in the case, and so quickly after being charged.
Criminal law attorney Dimitri Gorin, who is not involved in this case, believes Haro may have incriminated himself during a police interrogation and decided to plead guilty to avoid the risk of a longer prison sentence.
If I was his lawyer and I had a client accepting a guilty plea so early on, and if he also helped the investigation, I would ask for the minimal possible sentence and try to reduce what he's facing based on his cooperation in the case.
Rebecca Haro continues to maintain her innocence. She has not changed her plea and still faces charges of murder and filing a...
But do you see how she acts abused and like a hurt animal? And you know, with hurt animals, you feel for them, right? You're like, I can't help it. But there's no possible way that she could be innocent with what's happened to baby Emmanuel. And in my opinion, Jake is only doing this, guys, to get a lighter sentence. And it's speculated that at his sentencing, he may bring up or let them know unexpectedly where Emmanuel's body is. And that's just word around the behind the scenes, all right? I don't know.
False police report.
The ultimate closure, as you see here, would be to actually bring baby Emmanuel home to give him a proper resting.
And that is what a lot of people are hoping for. Now, Rebecca's preliminary hearing has been set for November 3rd, and that is the same date that Jake Haro, will be sentenced. We also reached.
See, that's wild that he's going to be sentenced on November 3rd, same exact day that she's going for her preliminary hearing. And it's hard to understand how they can have a prelim hearing without adding into that Jake pled guilty and she was in on it with him. It just doesn't make sense to me. So we'll see how that unfolds. Jennifer B., good to see you, my friend. Happy Friday to you and everybody else. Diane Balboa, thank you so much. Choo choo, like Rosie says. Thank you.
Out to the prosecution for comment. They chose not to comment on this case. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
And Gina, we know the mother had made that heartfelt plea to the media and the public for help. Do we know anything more about the mother and ties to this guilty plea?
We don't. We know that she is still saying she is not.
She's still not guilty, she says.
Guilty. And as you heard from the witness, he said that she was shocked and she was crying and rocking back and forth, my baby, my baby. So at this point, we don't know what's going to happen in her situation.
My baby. Fake lady. Fake lady. Let's watch Jake Haro cry in court. How about that? Let's see. There's different there are different angles. So that's what we're going to look at and do a lot of searching into this and what happened and what we think's going to happen. All right, let's watch him cry in court.
Breaking news now, 2 months after baby Emmanuel Haro was reported missing in the IE, his father, Jake Haro, has pleaded guilty to second-degree murder.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Mo. She can't be innocent and falsely reported kidnapping at the same time. Now, for certain cases, two things can be true, right? Two things can be true. Like in the Stephen Stearns and Madeline Soto case, two things can be true, right? Stephen can be the only person that X, Y, and Z and Jen Soto could know. But in my opinion, there's no way for her not to have known because X, Y, and Z, right? And we don't have to go over that case. What I'm saying is two things can be true at the same time. And in this case, what can't be true is that she's innocent. It can't. There can't be. Unless Jake knocked her out himself, put a wig on and pretended to be somebody else and then said hola and she didn't know any of that happened and then he told her. It's just not possible. Not at all. All right, so let's see what is possible and what might happen.
But for many in the community who've been following baby Emmanuel's case, well, this guilty plea is not bringing closure. Eyewitness News reporter Leticia Juarez live in Riverside with the very latest on what happened inside the courtroom today. Leticia?
Well, here's the thing, Monique. He did tell what happened, but we can't know because Rebecca still has a preliminary hearing coming up on the same day that Jake is being sentenced. So he did tell what happened. Now, why they don't have the body, I'm not sure. All right. Now, when we listen to the charges that he has, we can kind of take a good guess at what it is that he did to the baby. All right. So let's keep going.
Well, I think the burning question right now is where are baby Emmanuel's remains? That's what the closure that some of the people I talked to are looking for. They want to know where he's at. Now, Jake Haro, the baby's father, facing 25 years to life after he admitted to murdering his son. Now, of course, his admission drawing what the community said was their worst fears.
Jake Haro sat in a courtroom for what was expected to be a routine hearing. His wife, Rebecca Haro, seated across the courtroom in a jury box, shielded by her attorney. And
all of the pictures that they got, she was trying to hide her face. And the reason I'm putting this is because I want to see him cry in court. And I'm sure he's just crying for himself. By the way, Patricia B., thank you so much for the Cash App towards the goal. I appreciate you. All right, let's watch his fake crying for himself.
A stunning turn of events. Jake Haro's attorneys announced a major shift in strategy.
And Your Honor has in front of you our change of plea from not guilty to guilty.
Haro pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in the death of his son, 7-month-old Emmanuel. On August 14th, the Haros claimed that their son had been kidnapped in the parking lot of a Yucaipa Big Five.
Him out of the car seat, and I laid him down and so I could get his diapers ready. And somebody said, "Hola," and that's all I remember.
But their story.
All I could just do is laugh, guys. You guys, I know you're on the other side laughing. All I could do is hola, and then it was over. Did I do a good job of that? All right, let's keep going. What's up under your scars? And hi, Mama Pearl. Hi, Mom. Love you.
Quickly fell apart. 1 week later, both were arrested and charged with murder as investigators intensified the search for the child's remains.
Kendall.
In court today, as Judge Gary Polk read out the charges, Haro gave a tearful response.
You did willfully and unlawfully murder baby Doe, and it shows EH, a human being.
Haro also pleaded guilty to assaulting a child under the age of 8, causing death.
And did willfully and unlawfully assault said child by means of force that to a reasonable person would be likely to produce great bodily injury, resulting in the death of said child.
Haro entered his pleas directly to the court without involvement from the Riverside County District Attorney.
And that's unusual, guys. So what I'm speculating right now at this point is that he's trying to get himself a lesser sentence. He's using those tactics for sentencing. He's using the crying and the remorse for sentencing. And he's absolutely, in my opinion, crying for himself. Rebecca likely got backhanded and slapped around in the days leading up to the super hoax. Her and Jake likely argued a lot about the plan. Yawn, it'll heal. I agree. Yeah. Valedictorian of the Amber Heard School of Dramatic Arts. She had 2 black guys. The other one was almost healed. Right. Yeah. It was, everybody knew that. Kirsty and Davey, welcome. First time in a live chat. Your channel's awesome. Thank you. You guys, welcome Kirsty Ann, please, to the crime crew. All right.
Attorney's office, meaning the DA was not involved in any plea deal with Haro. The DA's office releasing a statement that reads in part, because there is still active criminal proceedings involving Rebecca Haro, the district attorney's office will make no additional comments regarding the case or the guilty plea of Jake Haro.
So far, I feel justice was served, but we still want to know where he's at so he can have a proper burial.
And the community says they are planning on having a celebration of life in Banning this Saturday at 2 o'clock there for a celebration of life for baby Emmanuel. As for Jake Haro, he'll be back in court on November 3rd for his sentencing. Rebecca Haro will also be in court on November 3rd for a preliminary hearing.
That is really weird how they're doing this, how they were on the same schedule. And Rita, she was on the docket. She had a court date on October 28th, but it got pushed to November 3rd because of what happened in the court yesterday. All right. So, like I said, mark your calendars because November 3rd, she has to be back in court for a preliminary hearing, which is what happened yesterday for Jake when he admitted to killing baby Emmanuel. So he'll be there to get his sentence, and she'll be there for what he did yesterday. So let's see if she changes her mind on that. Hawkeyes, hello, second time in your chat. I was very impressed with you my first time. Thank you. I appreciate you, Hawkeyes. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to all of you guys. It's good to have you here. I love having the 232 people so I can talk to you guys and make sure I give you guys some attention. Right now we're going to talk about the early guilty plea that he did. It's unheard of to a lot of people. It's unheard of, and now we're going to hear from Casey Anthony's, a lawyer that was intertwined into the Casey Anthony case. Not her attorney, but an attorney. So let's talk about that. Yeah, every time I hear hola, ole at work, I laugh. All right. I thought I was replaying. No, Jamie, you caught it live. Welcome. Happy Friday. All right.
Reporting in Riverside.
All right, Riverside. All right, let's talk about this now because we're just gonna talk about this, and because we have an episode today to kind of discuss what happened here from different angles. So this little 5-minute News Nation clip is not law and crime. I'm trying not to do law and crime at least for a good week because I still don't know exactly what went down, and I do stand with Lauren, but I don't know exactly the what happened with law and crime other than the little bit. So Mo says if throwing your wife under the bus was a court case, there would be one, but he didn't do that, which is weird, Mo. But can I tell you something, guys? I wonder if, and I think so, but I'm not sure. I wonder if they're going to use it as an aggravating factor of what he did to his 10-week-old baby, where he left her not able to walk, 3% of her brain, not able to eat. Are they going to use that in the sentencing phase? Is that going to make it into the court into consideration of his sentence based on how and what he did to his other child? You guys tell me. What do you think? Do you think they're going to use that or not? I don't know, man. If they don't use that and they don't give him LWOP, life without the possibility of parole, I'm going to be kind of pissed off, guys. He took away Emmanuel Haro's life and he ruined his other child's life forever. He took everything from her but her life. All right, let's go.
Conway is an attorney who represented George and Cindy Anthony, the parents of alleged child killer Casey.
Okay, that's what it is. This is the lawyer for Casey Anthony's parents. And you remember the Casey Anthony case where she ultimately turns it around on her father and says that, 20 something years later, I think Kaylee drowned. My dad brought her to me. I don't know what happened after that. Anyhow, they needed a lawyer, right? So I'm pretty sure they were cleared of Casey Anthony's BS. Spectral Whispers, happy Friday. Justice for baby Emmanuel. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Who's excited for Halloween? I'm going to leave it at that while we listen to this. Who else is excited for Halloween? That's all I'm going to say. All right.
Anthony, good to see you again. Brad, I always love our conversations. So let me ask you a question. As an attorney, I always feel like if you're being given a deal, and you agree to the deal, and the crime is so horrible, so as we don't know where the body of a baby is, don't you have to give up the details of where the baby is in order to get that deal?
Ashley, it's great to be with you again. And yes, that is normally part of the plea bargaining process, right? Full allocution, you got to tell the whole story. You got to tell who was involved, where the body is, and all those details. And only then do you get the benefit of the plea bargain. But this one is different, isn't it?
Yeah, is it ever? Because clearly the biggest mystery here isn't that they did something to baby Emmanuel. We all kind of knew it. It's that where is that child?
And what does the district attorney know about what happened to Emmanuel, right? We still don't know. It still has not been released. It hasn't been released if they actually ever obtained a saw and desecrated his remains, right? We don't know what happened. I mean, I'm going to say it's likely because he was so small and they were looking into the sawzaws. It's going to be hard to recover those remains if they did that. And again, trigger warning, that's pretty gruesome to think about doing that to a baby, guys. So this guy's a monster, in my opinion. Michael, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Hi, Jay. Guilty of crime. Love you guys. Choo choo. Hop on, folks. Plenty of room left on board. Much love to you. I hope you're doing well today. I hope you're feeling good. And I hope everybody's feeling good today. Whether you're saying, let's go Dodgers, or come on, Halloween. I'm ready. Let's go. I'm ready. I love Halloween, guys. I love it for many reasons. I am very similar to Dolly Vision in the way that I'm a huge horror fan. All right. So I just love horror, then Halloween, and then both of my children's birthdays are in October, right around Halloween. So we always have a big Halloween bash, right? So I love it. Can't wait. I love watching the movies all month long too. So, all right, let's do this together. Let's talk about this, about him switching his plea and what it means. Why?
Forensically, can that child be autopsied so as to at least comport with whatever story they're telling today? Let me ask you this. Now that he's copping to this, these particular crimes, how does it affect Rebecca?
That's a good question, because what is he going to say? Is he going to exonerate her, or is he going to say that she was the one that was the primary killer? What is he going to say? And that is the big question, and that's why she's hanging out, saying, "I don't know what I'm going to do." Maybe she doesn't know either, because one thing that I noticed is that the sheriff's department and the prosecutor in this case, they really are keeping a tight lid on all the facts. So while he's pled guilty on a very short timeline, Ashley. August 7th was when Emmanuel disappeared. Here we are on October.
Yeah, and I like that they're talking about this. When I was listening to this, I was like, yes, guys, you guys know. You guys have to know, being with guilty of crime now for over a year, you guys have to know that this case and the Madeline Soto case moved so quick. It moved so quick. That never happens in a case like that. And this one just happened in August, and it's October, and they're already going to sentencing in November. That's fast. And without a body, guys. Times are changing. All right. Times are changing. Laws are changing, and I hope for the better. Selena says, I love Dolly Vision. I do too. I like Dolly and PJ and their antics. I don't care what anyone says. All right. Black Country Bum 1. Good to see you. Hey, Jay. Hope you're well. I'm very well. Hope you're well. And I love your name. Black Country Bum. Love it. My birthday was the 13th. Well, happy birthday, Mama Sage. Happy late birthday. All right. Lightning speed, right?
16th, and he's already entered a plea. That's almost unheard of.
So do the prosecutor, I mean, listen, you and I lived through Casey Anthony. It's where we met. And it's funny that you should be on because, we just had Mark Eiglarsh on as well. I met him during that trial. We all came together for that. And the fact that they couldn't find the baby, they couldn't find little Kaylee Anthony for so long meant that there was very little of Kaylee Anthony left. And forensically, that's what kind of ruined this case. Is this an issue here? And do the Haro's attorneys know that as long as that baby stays missing, there's a really good effort that they can put forward in the defense? Because no body, no way to know how baby died.
Yeah, so you know what, guys? I'm going to tell you right now, I've heard it several times between yesterday and today that there's a possibility that the only reason that Jake pled guilty is because he already let it out that he did it during that sting operation of the informant that was in his jail cell. And while he was out there searching for the body with the team searching, when we saw him out with the jumpsuit, that he had to have, it's almost impossible that he didn't not only tell the informant that he was involved in the killing, if not did it himself, but he told the people out in the field, the law enforcement, when he was walking with them. Because, I mean, that's the talk that's the only reason he did that. Because how can you plead not guilty when you're going to go to trial? And when you go to trial, you're going to have that informant as a witness, right? And the law enforcement that was out there with him, my dog's talking, the law enforcement that was out there searching, he had to have said something to them, which would also be a witness. So typically it's hard to try somebody or convict them without a body. But in this case, he's given it all up. And I don't think Rebecca stands a chance.
Yeah, and that is true to some extent. But what we can assume, and I think very reasonably, is that a 7-month-old child can't take care of himself, right? So wherever he is, the parents had to at least have knowledge of it, if not responsibility for putting him there. So one or both know where this child is. And going into his sentencing on November 3rd, maybe that's what he's counting on. Maybe he's counting on the fact that he'll divulge where the remains are in return for a known offer or a known sentence.
Exactly. And that's what I was talking about, referring to. Several people have said that. We're going to have more discussions about that today, but several people have said that he might be using Emmanuel's body as a bargaining chip for his sentencing. He told them, Selena, he told them how he did it. He told his lawyers and the DA how he did it in his plea deal, but they cannot tell us because Rebecca Haro still has not had her preliminary hearing or trial, and she is still pleading not guilty. So those won't come out. I mean, it's not going to come out until her case is also said and done. And they do have separate attorneys. Absolutely, they do. Right here, you can see right there, down there, they're two separate people in court with two separate attorneys. But if that gets out, it will mess up her case, which is unfortunate. I almost wish they would have tried them together.
And maybe he's hoping that divulging that will get him the sentence he wants. Remember, he was once charged with similar crimes, and he got a pure probation sentence. So maybe he's under the very mistaken belief that he's going to persuade the judge to do something really, really special for him this time around.
Well, he's saying yes to second-degree murder. He's also got the filing the false police report, the assault causing bodily harm. He's got his past prior, so he's a whole hot mess, that one. But Rebecca Haro is a liar. No matter what she's going to say in court, there is no way that someone could have hit.
I love that. She's like, hey, this is not in my opinion. Rebecca Haro is a liar. And that should be a known fact because that couldn't have happened. It's impossible that somebody did that to her while Jake is over there pleading guilty. And you're right, Jennifer B. That's a possibility. I don't know about the intent part, maybe, but it could go to a first degree or second degree with much more charges of what he might have done to baby Emmanuel. There could be some really awful things done to that baby's body, which would give him bigger charges that would add to his sentencing and make it so he doesn't ever get out and doesn't have parole. So you're absolutely right. That could be. Damn. Agree, liar, liar, pants on fire.
Hit her over the head and taken her baby when the husband has already said, I killed the baby. I second-degree murdered that baby. So what does this mean for her?
It means she's got a lot of thinking to do, and she's got a lot of preparing to do because she's not going to be able to overcome his testimony. And, you know, we went through this with the Anthony case. Casey Anthony lied.
Lied.
In the end, her lies helped her.
Thank you for watching.
And that is very true, guys. That's true. When I heard them say that, oh God, you're right. That's true. Sometimes you can lie, and it does help you, but it takes a lot longer. And in this case, Jake is like, I'm done. Let's just plead, get this done, give me sentencing and do my time. And maybe, just maybe, thinks that he's going to get a lighter sentence because he's cooperating with them. But based on his previous conviction with only getting probation and the judge saying, and people pointing finger at the judge, telling everyone's mad at that judge about what sentence he got. I don't think they're going to give him a light sentence at all. What's up, Kelly? She says, hola, the fake hola bit. All right, guys, come on in. Whoever's just came in, come in, sit down, relax, chill out. Happy Friday. All right, I've got another clip real quick of him pleading guilty in there. It's a different little perspective. And then we're going to get into more discussions on this. All right. So hope you guys are having a good day so far. Hope you're excited also for Halloween, excited for the weekend, all of the above. All right. Who's here? Roll call. All right. We have 242 people in chat. So do me a favor, hit that like button and share with your friends. All right. What's up, Daisy Duke? You know I always love that name. How you doing? Good to see you. Can I be the Ola Bandit? That is not a question. But yes, you can be. Freaking Synth. She likes to push it, huh? I agree. Look what he done to his daughter, and that mom deserves the same punishment. I agree. Coco Cutie says, yes, it's sad. We only ever owned a black cat. I rescued Salem and found she was pregnant. One baby. He was born double cleft. Oh, wow. Really? You had a double cleft palate cat? Those are cute, though. When you see the cats that have like, that have something like a birth defect, they're so much cuter. And I did have a black cat. My cat that I had for 20 years, his name was Boo. I had him for 20 years, guys. Hi, Mom. My mom says, hit that like button, guys. And if you don't listen to my mom, she's going to throw her chancla at you. So hit that like button, all right? In sentencing, his past case will play. That's what I'm discussing right now. I'm wondering, are they going to? Let's talk about it further here.
to that he murdered his son.
Baby Emmanuel's remains have not been found, and his mother still stands accused as well. KTLA's Andy Rose Ramos live outside the courthouse in Riverside with more. Andy Rose.
Kelly.
Hey guys, yeah, it was just expected to be just another day in court, and it turned into an incredibly surprising one when Jake Haro changed his not guilty plea into a guilty one, admitting to murdering his very own son.
We just ask if anybody knows anything to please contact Yucaipa.
And the way he's talking, let's be real, guys. I mean, he sounds like he's constipated and trying to remember his story while Rebecca's next to him, also double constipated and trying to fake the, get those tears out. Trishy, 818, love your show. Thank you. Are you from the 818? Mama Pearl, she will take out the haters. I just know it. Oh, yeah. Love Dolly and PJJ. What's up, guys? 237 people, 241. Love it when folks show love. Thank you, guys. All right, let's watch these two constipated actors and actresses, or whatever you want to call them.
Police department.
A shocking admission today made by 34-year-old Jake Haro, in tears as he made a surprise guilty plea to killing his 7-month-old son.
He was emotional. His voice broke as he answer the judge's questions.
Press Enterprise reporter Brian Rokos was in the courtroom as it happened.
When the judge said...
Would I be wrong if I stopped to say something about this dude's mustache? I mean, I'm sorry, but you guys know how we are on here. What happened to his mustache? Did the wind pick up? It looks like a Hitler mustache went wrong, like he didn't clip it. What happened? Hold on, I gotta show you this because it's too funny. I'm real close to my screen. If you guys have a TV or something, take a look at that. Whatever these seem to get off of this one. Oh my God, look at that. What is that? What happened? I had to make it bigger. His mustache is running away from him. And his eyebrow. Oh my God, this is funny. I don't know what my thing is about mustaches, guys, but when I see something like that, I can't stop looking at it. If I'm looking at someone's face and I'm close to them, I can't even listen to them talk because I'll be staring at that mustache like it's gonna come off and fly to me. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I had to stop and just tell you guys. It's funny. What's up, my missing piece, Jax? Oh man. Mr. Magoo. It's hard to watch somebody. I can't talk to someone when that happens, man. What the heck? The eyebrows too, I know. It's killing me. We gotta hurry up and get past this. It's driving me nuts. Clementine said he must be single. Hey, no man or woman want to kiss it. And if he had a wife, his wife would say, hey, listen, honey, I love you, but you gotta do something about that stash, guys. It just can't happen. What's up, Auntie Ree? You came in at the perfect time. We needed a little palate cleanser here. Oh my goodness. Cut your mustache, sure. Imagine kissing that. No, I can't. I can't even imagine talking to him. All right, back to the show. I'm sorry. I let me rewind a little because I couldn't hear because I was looking at his mustache blowing off of his face. Oh my God, that one's so much better. Look at that. Come on, sir. All right. I wanted you to see the tear running down his face also.
34-year-old Jake Haro in tears as he made a surprise guilty plea to killing his 7-month-old son.
He was emotional. His voice broke as he answered the judge's questions.
Press Enterprise reporter Brian Rokos was in the courtroom as it happened.
When the judge said, you admit to the murder charge, he said, I'm guilty.
The father of baby Emmanuel, who is still missing, entering guilty pleas to 1 count each of murder, child endangerment, and filing a false police report.
In a very surprising and unusual move, he has admitted to guilt to all counts.
The district.
I was just teasing. I just couldn't get past it. I love what he's saying, and I'm sure he's a smart guy. I just had to laugh, guys. That's all. You guys know how it goes. You guys know how we do the palate cleansers here. And let's watch the Ken doll be arrested.
Attorney's office saying today's change was not a plea agreement, but instead Haro making his guilty pleas directly to the court.
So what he's going to do.
And that's actually what I wanted to show you today was the fact that he not only pled guilty because a lot of people wanted me to say, hey, he pled guilty, but he pled guilty without a deal. he didn't get a deal. All right. And yeah, we're just playing around. If anybody just rolled in, we just joke around sometimes to break up the monotony of talking about children that are no longer with us and all the bad stuff. So hey, you guys, I laugh at myself. We can just laugh. That's right. Where is the baby, Jam? That's what I want to know. Where's baby Emmanuel? What did they do to him? And what did they do with him? That's what we're talking about. We still have a whole discussion coming after this.
Do is tell the judge, I pled early to avoid a horrible, expensive, and painful trial for everybody. I tried to show investigators where the body was buried. I'm taking accountability. Show me mercy.
Also in court today, Jake Haro's wife, Rebecca, the 41-year-old mother, is maintaining her not guilty plea, including a new charge from the district attorney's office.
And there was a new charge, assault on a child causing injury or death.
Baby Emmanuel.
See, and that's the thing, guys. If they added that charge, which they just told us they did, if they added the charge, that means that they have more information about what happened to baby Emmanuel. So look, guys, let's pray hard that when sentencing comes on November 3rd, that Jake tells them not only what they did to the baby, but where about, right? No more nonsense. Yes, this is why they stopped searching right now. He pled guilty, but I believe they stopped searching before that. All right. So yes, he pled guilty yesterday, and Rebecca, still pled not guilty. Jamie Cook just gifted 5 memberships, guys. Please say thank you. Thank you, Jamie. Angel, what's up? Someone needs a fight. Yes. And that's what we're covering this for. We really want justice, and we want to follow it. We want Emmanuel to be brought home, guys. All right. And thank you, guys. Thank you for the gifted memberships, Jamie. We appreciate that. Yeah, where is the baby? Where is baby Emmanuel?
Emmanuel was reported missing on August 14th. His mother, Rebecca, telling authorities she was attacked outside her car at a store parking lot, reporting a man kidnapped her child. Authorities finding inconsistencies with her statement.
No, he's gone. I can't find him.
Jake and Rebecca Haro were both arrested in August and initially pleaded not guilty in this case. Brian interviewed Jake in prison just after.
Now, guys, right after he went and did the search, he pled not guilty. So it's crazy. It's crazy that sometimes it just doesn't make sense that somebody could plead not guilty after taking out a whole crew of people and telling an informant that you know where the body is. So it really doesn't make sense. The assault on the 8-year-old causing extreme harm carries a weighted sentence. Okay, but they didn't have that because they didn't have a body and nobody was talking. So there's no way that they could have gave that extra charge to her without having more information that we don't know about. Emily says, do you think he actually took the detective to the baby, or do you think no, he didn't? No, I don't know if it was a distraction or not. I don't really have, I'm going to answer that as I don't know. I really don't know why somebody would do that, or particularly why he would do that. Why make up the big show and looking for Emmanuel? I don't know. I really don't understand that part. I can't understand why somebody would do that. I was very, very sure that they were going to find the body, or they were going to find parts of the body or parts of the evidence out there, and they found nothing according to law enforcement thus far. Oh Biscuits is a new member. Hello, welcome. Happy Friday. All right. Almost.
He was arrested.
He told me that Rebecca was innocent, but wouldn't talk about his role. He wouldn't say whether he was innocent. He wouldn't say.
So this is a big part of this case, is he's still sticking up for Rebecca and saying she's innocent, which I don't understand how she could be when that actually didn't happen. None of that happened at all. I don't understand how someone could just leave their kid. I don't know either. Friday. Rebecca makes my eyeballs roll back in my head like The Exorcist. This is heartbreaking. Every time I see a little angel's face, it makes me sad. I hope they get both parents and they do like me too, Mom. Me too. I hope they do not go easy on Rebecca, even though I'm sure that by now she's told them about the abuse. Because how did she have those black eyes? So Sheila, thank you so much, Sheila Romero, for the $2 super chat. Yeah, she still lied, and he did. I was really surprised yesterday. He pled guilty, and he told them that she was innocent. So he's doing what she did for him. Do you remember the last court date? They both pled not guilty, and she said, "Oh, Jake's such a good dad," and she swore that he didn't do anything. Right, exactly. Potato 2.0. What's up, Angel? Good to see you. Maybe Jake really knocked her out and took the baby. Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of. Well, we'll see what happens. I hope so too. But he's saying she didn't do anything. How do you think that's going to go? Do you think that she's going to not get the second degree charge and only the other charges and be out in 5 years? What do you guys think?
Whether he was guilty. So that made me think at that point that he had something to admit to.
And Jake Haro due back here in court come November 3rd to be sentenced. That's the same day that his wife Rebecca is also due here in court for a preliminary hearing. But Micah, we know the big question on everybody's mind is, where is the body of baby Emmanuel? Where are his remains? We have reached out to the Sheriff's Department as well as the district attorney, who tells us they cannot comment on this case because the investigation is still ongoing. Micah?
Yeah. Andy Rose Ramos with us from Riverside. Thank you.
All right, we got the last thing, which is I'm so happy for. I love when I'm covering something and on that day something else comes out that sparks, and it's like, oh, I gotta share this with the crime crew. What's up, Nini? Coming in late, catching up, hit that like button. Your perfect timing. Why did Jake Haro plead guilty to what happened to baby Emmanuel? That's the question. And where is baby Emmanuel Haro? All right. Barbie G says, I don't know, Jay, but I hope she gets much longer sentence. I do too. I hope she's not out in 5 years. I agree, Auntie Ree. Yep. We'll see what happens November 3rd. Now let's get into the tearful Jake Haro pleading guilty and what we think is going to happen next with them. All right. And this is perfect timing for today and how we do on our Fridays with the crime crew. All right. I was going to do a call-in show today, but guys, baby Guilty and I bought some cakes, and we're going to bake cakes and cupcakes after this, so I can't be here all night like yesterday. Choo choo. Thank you, Coco Cutie. Choo choo. Happy Friday, train. I appreciate you. All right. Next. This is not as long as you think, but it's long enough to have this discussion, and I'm happy it came out this morning. Hold on.
Statement.
I try to go past
With his
it.
plea, California tax dollars are saved, time and resources are conserved, and his case proceeds straight to sentencing on November 3rd.
Yes.
I have got to respect that. I certainly don't respect what he did, but I respect the fact that he didn't continue with the charade that he had started back in August when baby Emmanuel was reported missing. This guy owned up to his atrocious.
And don't you guys hope that Rebecca does the same thing on November 3rd? So if you guys just rolled in, Lola, welcome to the Crime Crew family. Okay, guys, listen, we don't have that long to wait. Today's October 17th, November 3rd. His sentencing is coming and her preliminary hearing is coming. So let's pray that she also changes her plea to guilty. Please, please, please. So we don't drag this out, and that they're finally able to tell us where Emmanuel's body is. Now, this guy's not a stand-up guy at all. I want you to know that. As much as we're covering this and she's saying, I'm glad he's doing that, I'm glad he's saving tax dollars, he's not doing it to save tax dollars, and he's not doing it for Emmanuel Haro, and he's not doing it for the greater good. In my opinion, he's doing it to save himself because he already told the informant and law enforcement that he knew what happened to the baby, and he tried to lead them to where Emmanuel was. All right. Why would she want to be with the man who did that to his daughter and the baby? Because he's a good father. That's why. All right. He's a coward. Yeah, it's all about him. That's his lawyers advise him correctly. Facts, Jay. Yeah. He's not a stand-up guy.
Behavior and accepted legal responsibility, which is commendable. I just hope that before he heads off to prison for hopefully the rest of his life, that'll help investigators find baby Emmanuel, to bring that child home for a proper burial and to have a proper gravesite. That precious little angel didn't stand a chance. And I pray that he's resting peacefully up in heaven with the angels now. That's my opening statement on this Friday morning. Let me know if you like it. Right now, it's time for your daily docket.
Did you notice? All right, so we're going to get into this. We got like a 15-minute with a lot of experts coming in and us talking about what's next for the case, which we don't have to wait too long for, but we do want it to hurry so that we can find out, hopefully, where baby Emmanuel's body is. Because listen, once it all comes out, then we're going to know, after his abuse happened, I'm sure Jake is going to say it was an accident, guys. I'm sure, because they brought it to us, they charged him with second degree, which is not intentional. He's going to say that an accident happened and they covered it up by X, Y, and Z. But he's going to tell what happened, hopefully, what happened to the baby. And did they put him in a bag somewhere? Did they actually use the saw? I hope we find most of that out so that we can find the baby. And Biscuit, thank you so much, says, come on, guys. Choo, choo. Yeah, Wyatt, you're right. If you know, like Wyatt, you know. If you know what that area is, it's the high desert, guys. Wild animals would absolutely get to baby Emmanuel when he took the people to where he did to search for baby Emmanuel, the animals absolutely would have got him. There is no trial date. Deborah, there's no trial date. The next date for his sentencing and Rebecca's preliminary hearing is November 3rd. All right. So mark your calendars, guys. November 3rd. I hope that we're able to find out what happens then. Yeah, no, 2 kids, 2 accidents. Yeah, that's why I like Wyatt. He's not dumb. Exactly. FarQ, what's up? Happy Friday. Yay, I caught alive. Thank you so much for contributing to the Guilty of Crime family. Thank you.
Anything about their clothing, the clothing worn by the group of people that Liam was with?
They were all wearing similar, if not matching, t-shirts and or sweatshirts that show that they were part of the Dublin Fire Brigade.
In Massachusetts, we've got the accuser in the rape trial for Irish firefighter Terrence Crosby returning to the...
All right, a lot of cases.
Time of the
A lot of cases.
In this case. Right now, let's turn to your top story this morning here on Opening Statements. That's little baby Emmanuel. His remains still nowhere to be found as his father, Jake Haro, pleads guilty to his murder. Haro sobbed in that California courtroom on Thursday as he admitted to abusing and murdering his defenseless baby.
And so part of a plea normally, which we're going to talk about now, a normal part of a plea is to tell what happened. All right. It's to tell what happened, how, and then where a body would be. That's usually part of the plea. So I'm sure a lot of it has been filled in with the district attorney and his lawyers and the whole team. But we just have to wait until November 3rd, or unless Rebecca decides to come forward in the meantime. All right. They both need to be locked up justice for baby Emmanuel. Yeah, too. He's not crying for the baby. In my opinion, he's crying for himself.
How do you plead to the charge in count 1 of the amended felony complaint of violation of Penal Code Section 187A? I'm guilty. And for clarification for the record, that's going to be in the second degree? Yes. Sir, do you admit that you committed a violation of Penal Code Section 187, Subdivision A, a felony, in that on or about August 5th of 2025 through and including August 14th of 2025 in the county of Riverside, state of California, you did willfully and unlawfully murder baby Doe, initials EH, a human being? I admit.
Now, Jake Haro's wife.
Let me pause it real quick and thank you, Hawkeyes. Glad you're here. Glad I found this channel. I'll be turning regular. Thank you. Welcome, Hawkeyes, to the Crime Crew family, you guys. I agree. Every plea deal should require allocution, but you got to remember every plea deal is usually in a different state. So we have to replace that with every plea deal in California should require that. Florida, Texas, right? That's the problem, is that each state to state is different. Baby Guilty. Jay, you should make Dirt and Worms Graveyard with Baby Guilty. I agree. I should. Thank you, guys. We welcome you with open arms, Hawkeyes. Good to see you. Never did, and I like that. Whoever said that. How does sobbing? How did you say that? When was sobbing just one tear? Yeah, it's not. All right, let's get into this with Rebecca, about Rebecca also.
And baby Emmanuel's mother, Rebecca, was in court too. Remember, she's charged as well. She entered a plea of not guilty in this case, so no change for her. Now, the same day of Jake Haro's sentencing, November 3rd, Rebecca is set to have her preliminary hearing on the murder charges and the charge of filing a false police report. That stems from the defendant's falsified report of Emmanuel's abduction on August the 14th. Now, Rebecca Haro claimed that she was attacked in a parking lot while she was changing Emmanuel's diaper, claimed that she was beat up and he was taken, but we know that was not the case. So what?
And that's right. Thanks for interjecting, Lady for Justice. You're right about that. Since no deal was made, allocution wasn't a requirement, unfortunately. And so I have to speculate that he's going to use Emmanuel's body as a bargaining chip for his sentencing. There was no deal. If you look at my thumbnail, it says pled guilty with no deal, or pled guilty, no deal. He didn't get a deal. They didn't offer him a deal. They weren't going to offer him a deal, in my opinion, or they would have offered Rebecca one, and they were going to go from preliminary hearing to the trial. All right. And he knows if he took a trial and all of that stuff came out, even without a body and the aggravating factors of his other case, he could get the death penalty. There is a death penalty in California, and I think he's just scared for himself. He had to know if he waited, it could. That too. You're right. That too. Truth be had, y'all, they both. Heck yes. All right, let's keep going. We got to get through this so we can go make cake or do whatever we're going to do.
Comes next in the investigation. Is Rebecca going to trial? And will baby Emmanuel ever be brought home? Let's bring in our guest. I have with me private investigator with Black Ops, private investigator. She's also a military veteran and a veteran of the NYPD, Manuel Gomez, and criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor, David Bruno. Good morning to you both. Manuel, let me start with you, please. Your reaction to this guy pleading?
Well, Julie, I have to agree with you. I mean, thank God that he had the final awareness to take this plea, because the case was so against him, there was no way he was going to win.
Well, he didn't take a plea, so we'll just back up for that. And what's up, gang, real Gemini, no lie. I'm not sure what you're saying, Synth. To be honest, not had, Jay. What did I miss there? All right, I think Jake pled guilty out of embarrassment. He doesn't want anybody ever to know what he did to the little boy's body, ever. Yeah, that's good. That's a good assumption, especially includes his own parents and family members. Well, I mean, look at the Stephen Stearns case, guys. I mean, I did not want to have to report on all the CSAM. I did not want to have to keep reporting on what happened to Maddie. And with Stephen Stearns, he doesn't want his parents to know that either. So that's a good assumption. All right. Love to all. I have to be at another live. I'm a mod. Have a really awesome Friday and weekend. Thank you, Hawkeyes. I appreciate you. You're awesome. Welcome to the Crime Crew family. Truth be had, they both were probably the first damn time, though. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. But he didn't.
And it does save the public time and money. But do I believe this body is going to be found now? I have to say, Julie, no. But there are two possible locations. I've been doing a lot of research into this case. One, the baby could possibly be at the landfill that was near, not far from his home, because there was indications of him going to two different locations, dropping off bags in a dumpster. That's one location. But the second one was where he bought the baby, and I mean, where he bought the cops, which was in that canyon area off.
And this is why I like court TV sometimes, because they get these experts that do this day in and day out. And this guy's a private eye that's been looking into this case, and he's telling us one or two places the baby might be. Good catch. And we might find out on November 3rd about that, about where he might be. Why it says they will not like that. Prison gangs won't take him in. he will have no protection. He's toast. Well, we hope so, right? That's what I think too. I was thinking the landfill, and I'm wondering why would he take him to the other spot away from the landfill, unless maybe he threw some evidence over there, and then I don't know what his deal was, why he did that, why he took them to nothing.
The highway. Now the problem with this is that if he did bury that baby, it was a shallow grave. There's coyotes, mountain lions, there's all type of carnivorous creatures that will eat that body and drag it off. So I think the possibility of us finding the remains is very bleak right now.
Manuel, thank you so much for that insight you've given us.
And I was actually thinking that he really did try to take them to the body so that he can get a better deal, and that whatever they did to the body and how small the baby is, the weather conditions, decomp, animals, wildlife, that he couldn't locate the baby because the remains were moved somehow, guys. So it's the only thing I could think of. I mean, other than it being a ruse. All right. Did you see the interview on Ahmed Datir about the bags going in the dumpster? Yeah, that's what he was talking about there. But I did not see that interview, but I hear what you're saying, and that's a good assumption there. Oh, one other thing, guys, before we do anything else, because it's in my mind right now. Right before we started our video today, a new video, 2 minutes, came out about Jack and Lily. And as soon as it came out, I was like, oh, I wish I could report on that today, too. According to neighbors in the Jack and Lily case, guys, the neighbors saw cars moving in and out of the Jack and Lily's residence with, I can't even think of his name right now, Daniel Martel and Malaya. The neighbors are now saying that the night before Jack and Lily went missing, they saw cars coming in and out, and not just cars, but Daniel Martel's car going and coming back in specific time frames that they came and went at 1:30 to whatever, 2 in the morning to midnight. That's the first time they've ever said that it's ever come out publicly. And I got to tell you, Daniel said he went to bed at like 10 the night before, and Malaya said she went to bed at 9, which doesn't even make sense, because why would they be sleeping that late? If Malaya went to bed at 9, really? She slept 12, 13 hours? Do you believe that? Do you really believe that Malaya slept for 10 or 12 or whatever, 13 hours? Number one. Number two, Daniel Martel, the neighbor, saying they're showing exact locations of where the car went and how it went and when it came back and what time. Remember, we always speculated that the children went missing the night before. So it just happened. Montana Mystic, welcome. Good to see you. Happy Friday. We heard a neighbor say that early on, but now, just right now, minutes ago, that came out, and then there's people live streaming it. So when we're done here, you guys will find it. But oh my goodness. So it's getting a lot more specific, and I feel like a lot more is going to come out. Also, somebody, and I want to thank you to that somebody, sent me the redacted documents from that case. So there's a lot. If I can get somebody to help me read them next week. I did get the case files from the Jack and Lily case, and then we'll talk about cars going in and out, time frames. And really, does it make sense that Malaya slept for 10, 12, 13 hours that night? Not to me, not the mathematicians that we know. Yeah, I thought they were partying the night before, but it was the night before that, Angel. What's up, Mab? Good to see you. Guilty Crime just got off my live. I didn't have any peeps in there. Well, welcome. Happy Friday. Yeah, they need to be found. So anyway, I just want to let you guys know before that. All right, you took the day off and proved Charlie and proved that. Oh, awesome. I'll have to go take a look at that. You guys go subscribe after this to Mab Investigates. All right, back to this.
Such great insight since this news broke. David Bruno, I want to turn to you now. I want to share some of the details with this plea. Some of our courties were wondering, was this a straight up plea to the indictment, or was there an agreement? No agreement here with the DA's office. He pleaded to all of the charges, and the judge will make the determination on the sentence. He's looking at a potential of 25 years to life in prison. So no agreement to charges, no agreement to sentence. David, you were a prosecutor. How rare in your experience is something like this where there's no deal to anything and somebody pleads very early on like this?
It's rare.
Extremely rare. Because, our criminal justice system is set up for plea negotiations. When we talk about plea negotiations, typically there's a benefit to the bargain between one side and the other. Because that otherwise, if everything just went to trial, there'd be just like a deadlock in all of our courts with the minimal resources, the scarce resources of our courts. And that's the reason that plea bargaining is there, is to push things through and be efficient in the.
And they didn't offer that. And the only reason I'm thinking he did that is because he wanted to save himself. And the judge is going to take all this into consideration. And I wonder if he's using Emmanuel's body as a bargaining chip to get parole. What do you think?
Courtrooms and avoid trials when we could. So generally speaking, these cases that don't go to trial do result in pleas. However, this prosecutor could have said there is no plea agreement, leaving him with no real option, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too.
I just wonder, was there a conversation about getting information about where the body was? We have talked about a similar situation in Kohberger, about the lack of motive and explanation from Kohberger. And in this case, I wonder if prosecutors were at the very least asking where the body was. And then final point, the wife. The wife's got her court date coming up, and we got to understand what's happening with the wife. I mean, Is he exonerating her? Or are they cutting her loose? Is she just...
No, they gave her more charges, as a matter of fact, which is so great. They better not cut her loose. Sheila Romero, 5 guilty of crime memberships. You guys, please thank Sheila Romero for the guilty of crime. Thank you, Sheila. I appreciate you. Wow. I don't think she's going to get off. She better not get off, or it's going to be another Jen Soto 2.0. People are not going to give her any peace or grace, in my opinion.
Pleading to the false reporting. So we have a number of questions still that remain. And then finally, how do we avoid this from happening again? Because this particular defendant had a prior incident in 2018 where he probably shouldn't even been let out to even commit this crime. Those are my points, Julie.
That's so true, David. For anybody who might have missed the news on this guy, Jake Haro severely beat his baby girl a few years back. So
that's why this discussion is good, because people need to know that needs to be part of the factor into his sentencing. And that judge better right the wrongs of the previous judge that let him off on probation for literally beating his child almost to death, taking everything but that child's life. He was let out a day after. Yeah. And he only did probation. So people are, that judge is under a microscope right now, and people are mad. I agree, Mab. So I'm wondering, is this judge going to right that other judge's wrongs by giving him life without the possibility of parole? And will baby Emmanuel be a bargaining chip? What's up, Graciela? Good to see you from Australia.
So badly that she is permanently disabled from the beating that he inflicted on her. And he got a probationary sentence, which is disgusting. It's something that Manuel and I have talked about a lot on this program. And David, I know you agree, he shouldn't have been out. He was out, and he was able to have another son, and look what happened. But now he's not going to be out. He's gonna stay in for a long time. I hope the judge maxes him out on as many years as he can give him. David, you brought up Rebecca, so I want to talk about her. I have a clip for you both. I know you'll remember. This is a clip that went viral. This got the case on the national.
And I don't think that it works that way anyway. I don't think it works that way that he can just say, oh, I'm guilty, but she's completely innocent. They both concocted that story that we're going to see right now that went viral. So I don't think it's going to work that way. It better not work that way.
National stage when these two held a little press conference, if you will, in California, and pleaded for their son to be brought home.
We come to you guys asking you to help us find our son. He was abducted last night from Big 5. Somebody struck my wife while she was trying to change his diaper. And
I don't like when he says that either. His diaper.
We just ask if anybody knows anything to please contact Yucaipa Police Department.
Don't hesitate, just call.
Rolling.
All right, I want to dig deep here on Rebecca because I'm just not sure about her. Manuel, let's talk here. We know that she had the shiner when it was kind of hard to see in that video, but a black eye was visible on her when they were announcing that baby Emmanuel was taken and that she was accosted.
They both said, I was changing the baby's diaper, and someone came up and said, hola, and I don't remember anything else. Yeah, he calls it the diaper. What a disgusting piece of garbage both of them are, in my opinion, now that we know what was done to the baby, right? Also, the baby has been gone for a few months when they did this interview. Possibly. Yeah, possibly. That's a good, we don't exactly know, but right. Evil Monsters, 11:30 Saturday. You're in the future, Graciela. Good to see you. I hope you're feeling better.
In this parking lot. There it is. Thank you to our awesome director, Matt Woolley, for popping up that. Okay, so look at that. That doesn't look fresh, right? You know, we discussed this and we're going, that looks like that might have been there before this incident when the baby was allegedly taken. Manuel, I wonder if Jake Haro was abusing Rebecca as well. When she was standing there with him, she looked terrified to me. And I wondered if she was afraid of what he may do if she speaks out here. I'm kind of wondering, is she not the guilty party here? What do you say?
Well, it's kind of a double-sided sword. She is and she isn't. She's a victim first. She's a victim of domestic violence and the victim of, in my opinion, professionally, is Stockholm Syndrome. This man brainwashed her. She was beaten so much that she, did anything to survive for herself and lied for him. And I think this is why she hasn't admitted guilt or anything and she's still sticking to the same original lie.
Right, she's still sticking to the lie. And do you guys think, do you have empathy for her? She probably is also abused. She probably also was abused by Jake. But do you feel sympathy for her? I don't. Not at all. She's had time to sit and think. She knows Jake can't get her at this point, and she's still sticking to I love my husband. He's such a good father. But did she forget about the 10-week-old that also he did that too? And what's weird is that in the past situation, Jake did that, and then he blamed his baby's mama or the woman that had that baby. But in this case, he's doing the opposite, and I'm surprised that he's not blaming her. In fact, he's not only not blaming her, he's saying that she's innocent when there's really no possibility that that can be part of it. Yes, she was abused, but she did not protect her baby. She's still choosing the abuser over justice. Right. Lynn says, I do feel badly for her. No, it was her responsibility, Mama says, to protect her baby. Right, exactly. Who says that? She knew what she was getting into. No sympathy. Exactly. Who has sympathy for baby Emmanuel? Well, everybody's opinions are valid, but I mean, she's had time to think. She knows he can't get her anymore. She can talk to anybody that she wants. And she's not.
Right. That's something to note right now. But those injuries, as we stated way back in the beginning of this case, Julie, and you and I were both agreeing that she is a victim of abuse and that this is what caused her to lie. And the problem is, I hope she not only gets sentenced, but I hope she really gets the help that she needs, Julie, because truly, she doesn't even fully aware of what she's still doing. Even though her husband admitted to everything, she's still sticking to the same lie.
Yeah, that is weird. It's odd, and I wonder how that's going to turn now. Yeah, Mab, I think that too. Squeaky Wheel, when we look back at this case, we've covered this case pretty extensively, and when you look at baby Emmanuel's photos where he was younger, he was a lot more full in the face, meaning fed, and he was more, it was more on the, not abused side. His eyes weren't like that. And it does look like some kind of shaken baby syndrome, but they immediately blamed it on him being slow and having eyes that go like that. It didn't look like that before. So I absolutely think that it was Jake that did that to the baby, right? Baby E comes first. Two humans aren't monsters. All right, let me keep going.
That somebody stole their baby. This just shows you how mentally incapacitated this woman is.
Oh, that's a great point to end on. Manuel Gomez, thank you so much for that. I know we have to let you go. You have cases to solve. Thank you for spending time with us this morning. David's coming with us. We want you to do the same at home, please, when we come back. Here's what's still to come on opening statements. We are spotlighting the...
I think that's it for today. We've done an hour and a half, but I think that was it for the discussions, and then we go into other stuff. So let's put this back up there so you guys can see. I mean, if you look at some of these pictures here, dystopic says, one thing I noticed in true crime is how criminals are victims. Shake my head. That mindset is very disturbing, but not on our channel. On this channel, criminals are not the victims at all, and we don't victim blame or victim shame at all. I don't care if he beat her. Regardless, she should have protected her baby. No, she knew this was going on. She should have left. No excuse. I agree. But again, everybody's opinion is valid. I think that two things are true at the same time. One meaning that she was abused, and then the other, she was abused, but she also was in on the abuse of baby Emmanuel because of whatever she was going through. But still, she's still not changing her story. And hello, Sarah Hewlett, good to see you. But look at the baby pictures real quick. I'll make them a little bit bigger so that you can see the baby. And it looks like the abuse was progressing. Remember, he abused his 10-week-old baby from a prior relationship, you guys. So look at the baby. Look at his eyes. Go from the left to the right. I don't see him having those eyes like that, and I see him a lot thinner later on. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you think? Do you see that? Look from left to right. He looks healthier and fuller. His eyes look okay to me. And then you get over to the right and his eyes are going sideways and his head looks flat. So anyway, I really do think that it was an accumulation of abuse, and the abuse resulted in his death. So anyway, Jennifer B. His memorial is so huge. I saw a short video the other day. Yeah, you see that first three pictures look good, and then after that, he was not born with that cranium issue. So yeah, I did not see the memorial. Was that Jennifer B that told me, that said that? Was that a new thing? The baby Emmanuel Haro memorial? Hold on, let me take a look. If I can find it quickly, I'll show you. And if not, then we've been here for a while. I know that in real life, oh my goodness, this is what happened to the baby before. I don't even want to get into that. I wanted to show you the memorial, but I'm not finding it. So that being said, we will continue covering this case as it goes. Jennifer says it was on TikTok. That's why I don't use TikTok too much, but thank you guys. God bless you, baby Emmanuel. Martha says, I think the baby looks like he was struck in the face. His eyes appeared. And even, yeah, later on, though. All right, guys, we can discuss this all night. And I would love to if I wasn't going to make cakes. Also, I do have Gus Lamont on the case list. So those are cases that will be coming up as we go. And people all over the world, evil, lots of evil. I believe he was deceased. Oh, really? Oof, that's scary to think of, Claw. I hope not. Same one, it's just much larger. Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. I love you. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. Mom, if you're still here, I love you. I'll talk to you soon. And everybody else, go and watch and subscribe to mab.investigates. We dropped a link earlier. Dang, another rewatch. Yeah, you got to go back, rewatch, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. All right, let me see what Squeaky will. Jay, just explain the entire reason why Jake pled guilty without a fight. He doesn't want the abuse he inflicted, nor the way he disposed of Emmanuel to affect his sentence. Ding, ding, ding. I agree. All right, guys. Much love to you. I'm going to drop this down so I know where we ended. I will see you guys next week on Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Mab, for being here. Thank you, Mods, for all the help. Thank you, Crime Crew, and welcome all the new Crime Crew members. Krista, much love to you. I still can't believe that you have not got a gifted membership. Hopefully you'll be green next week. All right, guys. Love you. I'm out. Happy Friday.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?